What's cracking, people? Angelic Mayhem here, and welcome to Hexcells Infinite. This is actually the sequel to the original Hexcells, a game which I reviewed. For those of you who are regular listeners, you'll know about this, back in February. And one of my chief complaints of the original game, although I liked it overall, was that it's a game that, or the original game, was non-replayable, okay? Basically, once you went through it the first time, you knew what all the solutions were, and it wasn't really the kind of game that you could play over and over again. This version of the game fixes that, and let me tell you, it does so in spades. This game is much harder than the original game, okay? If the original game required an IQ of, let's say, 100, this requires at least 130, maybe even 140, all right? It is pretty intense. I've been playing this game for 6 hours, and I'm only about halfway through it, okay? So I'm going to take you in, and for those of you who are new to the game, I'll explain how the game is played, and for those of you who have seen my first review or have played the game in the past, then I'll show you what's new. So here we go. This is, your basic menu, and let me just go back. These are different save slots, so I'm only using one of them. These are just, the first three are kind of like an intro to the game, and then it gets into like the crazy madness. And I'm just going to pull one up. This is the last one that I played. And so this kind of looks intimidating, but let me explain it to you, okay? It's basically like Minesweeper. The object of the game is that you have 32 flags, and you have to plant the flags where you think that they belong based on the numbers that you're reading, okay? Now, the numbers are a little tricky, so let me walk you through this. This diagonal, we'll call it a column, okay, has 2 in it. All right, so all of these, there are 2 flags out of the 7 that are there. But this diagonal, these 5 only have 1, which means that there's 1 left for these 2. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. So this number represents everything from here down, and this number represents from here down. So it's kind of like you subtract, 1 from 2, and that tells you how many's up here. Now, these blue ones, which are also new to the game, represent how many flags there are within 2 hexes of this blue. So that's this one, this one, this one, and this one. I want you to draw a circle around it. And it also includes this one as well. Because, if there was a hex here, it would skip over, all right? So that's what you have to do, is you have to use these numbers to figure out where the flags go, okay? Now, I know that there's only 1 flag in all of these spots. I also know that there's only 1 flag here because of the 2 and the 1. And I know that there's only 1 flag here because of the 2 and the 1, okay? And so I know that it goes here. And so as a result, because this says 1, I know that this can't be a flag because, there's only 1 flag. So this one is safe. So what I did was I right-clicked on it, and that gave me this black square, which says 1. Now, the black squares, they are proximal, which means that, it's telling me that in an adjacent square, there is 1. And so we know that it's this one, so we can do this, and then we can do that. This 2 tells me that there are 2 of them, this one and this one, right? Now remember, this 1 includes this, and we've already flagged, so we can unlock that. And the 0 means that we can unlock there. And now, you see where the madness comes in. Matthew has added question marks, and let me tell you something. If he showed up at my house with a 2x4 and cracked me across the skull with it, he could not have given me a bigger headache. This thing is intense, all right? Once the question marks start popping up, you will become infuriated. It is crazy tough, all right? But in a good way. It's really challenging, and all of these puzzles are handmade. So he has crafted these. We're going to get out of here. He has crafted these to be exemplary, painful puzzles, all right? It was real brain tweezers. Now, there is another mode, and this again goes back to the replayability. Okay, now theoretically, you could memorize the solution to all of these, okay? You would probably need an eidetic memory in order to accomplish that, but it is possible, all right? So this part of the game you could get bored with. Down here, you'll notice the infinite button, all right? We go over here, and just like in Minecraft and other games, right? Random seeds. punch in a seed name, and then you go over here, and it will bring up that puzzle. Now, these puzzles are randomly generated by the computer, so they are not designed necessarily to be crazy difficult. You can probably get through them in about 10 to 15 minutes. But the good news is that, and I'm going to go back again, you can use today's date, all right? So we punch in today's date, and there it is. Now, this will bring up today's puzzle, which means that theoretically, every day you could log in and spend 10 minutes noodling around with today's puzzle and exercising your brain for a little bit. I think that's a really cool feature and something that really is making me very excited about this game because, you know, if every day for, you know, a week or 3 weeks or a month or whatever, you know, you got on every day and tried out the new puzzle, like that would be a really great way to kind of exercise your brain, you know what I mean? So I really think that this version of the game, I mean, you know, there's not much more to it than that, but you wouldn't be able to take much more than that, I assure you. I really like Hexcells Infinite. It came out today being September the 1st, and I'd recommend it. I think if you're into puzzle games at all, this is something you're going to want to take a look at. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please click the like button, share it with your friends, or subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content like this in the future. I'm Angelic Mayhem, and I'll see you next time.